It's like
Hello.
that awkward silence right now.
And welcome to Beyond the Rift, where people love to talk during the intros.
Yes, they do.
It's always their fan favorite thing to do.
Hold it back.
You want to do a do-over then?
No.
No.
Okay.
I like that intro. So you're watching Beyond the Rift tonight. It's Thursday, 9-ish. And
Yep, it's 9/27 of 2012.
tonight we have with us a bit different lineup. We have Alakite. We will be having Spooh and Lionheart. It'll be awesome. Hey, there they are. Awesome.
We're not too like the hey when.
Well, you know, like,
What?
hey, I'm your host, Demon Machine. This is my co-host, Rebel.
Yeah.
And all that fabulous
Yeah.
stuff. For all you people who've never seen this before, we do talk about Smite, and we talk about the pro scene, the tournament scene, and patch notes and all that good stuff. And we like to take call-ins, which actually need to get the call-in system up and running. And other than that, it's time to go.
Yes,
So,
you
what
can
is
call us in on Skype at perfect.rain if you have questions for us and our guests. You'll see it up there at the top, perfect.rain on Skype. Just add us and send us a message, and we will give you a call. Tonight's we're gonna start out with.
we're gonna start out with
Spooh.
our special guest here, Spooh. Spooh, tell us a little bit about yourself to
Say hello.
let everybody know. Which I'm sure they probably already do.
No
I'm
pressure.
Spooh. I'm the team captain for ESG.eu.
Woohoo!
I love Smite, and that's about it.
All right.
Oh yeah, and they won the last turn, or they won the
Just that other
tournament
thing.
last Saturday, whenever it was.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
last Sunday.
Awesome. Oh yeah.
Come on,
Yep.
dude, get your day straight.
They won the last tournament. Eat Sleep Gaming EU. Very nice. I love that name, by the way. Good job. And they won the last tournament. And we have their captain with us, Spooh.
Yay.
That's
So, tell us a little bit about the tournament. How was your mindset and how was things going when you were going through the tournament? Were you guys like going, woohoo, we won again, keep going? I mean, is that like, you know, you guys just jumping up and down cheering, let's go, let's go, let's go? Because that's what I would have been doing,
Yeah,
that's for damn sure.
That's sort of our like. We're cheering whenever we beat someone. It doesn't matter who it is. We never underestimate anyone, and we're looking at every opponent like they're the best opponent there is. So we just give it all, no matter who we play. That's like how we look at it.
Nice. So what would you say was your most difficult game the entire tournament, if you could list it to one?
That was probably the finals. Yeah, for sure. LGEU gave us a lot of tough fights and stuff, but I think the finals was definitely the toughest one.
Nice, nice. So was that a little lip service for BLG? No. just
They
tell
have been
it.
doing really well though in the latest scrims.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we've been
Yeah.
watching them. Lionheart's been casting them, and BLG's been winning them lately, haven't they? Are you guys a little concerned about that with this upcoming tournament?
Well, yeah, they have been doing a lot better, but we're also like every scrim is like practice for us.
Right.
So we don't necessarily have to win it. We try to try different stuff. And we also have to lose to understand what we're doing wrong. So I think
Exactly.
getting losses every here and there is really good for us.
Right, right. It's not all about making sure you win every time, because I mean, you want to make sure that you learn, try out different things, try out different strategies. That's why you guys like to scrim each other, is because you know that there's not going to be any underhandedness or anything like that. It's just going to be straight up play. Let's try out things. Let's have a good practice partners, basically.
Exactly.
So on that level, how many EU teams would you say that there are? Because I know of you guys and, of course, our team, but I don't know of any other big, like, powerhouse EU teams. Are there any that we haven't heard of yet that may be coming for this next tournament?
There is one that actually did pretty well against us. We've only played him once, I think, but their name is hi-con
Oh yeah.
something. It's Proxy GG's
hi-rez
team.
EU.
hi-con EU. They were doing pretty well, actually, and I hope to see them do well in the tournament.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Awesome. So
Not too well, just well enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So we BL Gaming and we did some of the casting for the latest tournament. We have spec mode. Thoroughly enjoying that, by the way. Thank you, hi-rez. And you were playing it. So tell us a bit from your perspective how the finals went. Like when you started it in the first game with Reason Gaming in the finals, what were you trying to?
Did you guys have a particular plan when you were doing the picks and bans? Were you trying to shut down Lacis, or was there somebody you were trying to shut down or play up on your team? Give us those details. Some of them.
Yeah, so we actually kind of wanted Wukong, and they gave us Wukong pretty free, which was actually kind of surprising. So we picked up Wukong, and we tried to make sure to ban out hi-rez because he has been lately only been playing Cupid. So we tried to get that Cupid out of the way, and that was our main plan. And in the last game, it really paid off because we basically got all the heroes we usually play with for some reason. I actually don't know why.
So you would then give advice to other teams that it's really good to research the teams that you're playing against to try and ban out players that
for
you're
sure.
And so, speaking of researching teams and all that, now that you can look at their personal stats for all of their games to see who they play and who they're the best with.
You can't see that for everybody yet, just for
Yes, you
yourself.
can.
How do you see it for the
No,
players?
you can see it for
search
everyone.
people.
You click
can
on the
search
search player button.
I must have missed that part.
Yeah, there's a search player button.
It's like hidden, right? It's not like an advertised feature. There's just like a little back to player search link at the top right when you're looking at your own stuff, and then it pops up from there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, because like I glanced over real quick when I was at work, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And so I instantly looked at my stuff for a few minutes, and then I was like, "Crap, I got to get back to work." So I mean, that was pretty much my list of having to do stuff with that. But I was very happy to see
Yeah. So
all those
now that you
statistics.
can research other players and all their stats for all their games they play, because you can see everything.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to impact your decision on what to pick and what to ban?
I don't know. I would say that's not tournament play. So I mean, you're seeing all these random ranked games and other random games like.
Well, if they have like 600 on one and 3 on the other, you generally don't have to worry about
Let's ban
I
out this guy.
guess.
Yeah.
You look at Lacis's and he's got 900 Agni games and 150 Hebo. Then you try to force him to play whatever caster you want him to play.
Yeah.
That'd be the trick.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually think that what's going to be the bigger change is not so much being able to see match history. I mean, sure, you could check people's ranked and see kind of what they're gravitating towards at a time to kind of get a feel for what they're practicing. But, that's subject to sabotage. I think the more interesting thing is going to be now that all these different people have access to spectator mode and games are being broadcasted, you're going to be able to now research how teams are practicing and kind of maybe figure out who the weakest link is, so to speak, and kind of target in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Push
Yeah.
it to crack
I mean-
and make them all pay.
Exactly.
Spec in general is going to help the competitive scene so much just because, these teams before, unless you're watching their stream, that's the only way you can get a vision. Now you have vision of the entire team, the plays they're making. It's just, great for the competitive scene. For
Exactly
everyone
how
to
they're
improve.
reacting to other teams and stuff too. Like since you can see that lovely overview, not just that one guy's perspective, you can see they're starting to move as a group now. This team has a particular time where at 10 minutes they really start to group up and they stay stuck together the whole time after that. So we
It's
need
especially
to
nice when we have like Lion here, biased people. I mean, as much as possible that are recording it for both sides. Both sides can watch over it. They both can improve their play. It's just nice in general for the competitive scene.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Lionheart, you've been putting out tons of those casted videos.
Yeah, he has.
I have, I got 4 of them on YouTube right now, and then I highlighted and downloaded the scrims from today, so I have those 3 scrims, and then the game that the 2 games that I casted with Bart, which again aren't really for the competitive scene so much as they are for promotional quality, but
Yeah.
nevertheless they were fun games to cast, and really enjoyed because they were kind of like 2 months ago the meta, right, where there's still already dedicated junglers.
Yeah.
But I think that this is going to be good, that the video content that I'm going to try and keep putting out for these games, and hopefully this will be good for players to kind of figure out, not just the pro players, I mean, but also like just your everyday casual player, figure out maybe what it is that teams are doing so that they could improve their own play also, and then kind of raise the overall quality of Smite games everywhere rather than just in the competitive scene.
I agree. I agree.
Yep. Thanks for ruining my train of thought, you jackass.
Sorry, I derailed.
He's all like,
Demon there.
we need
It's
something
like,
in the
top
we need
left,
something
and-
in the top left corner. I'm sorry, we only have 3 people today. We were trying to keep it low key, so we have a little extra space. So me.
So, Lionheart, have
damn.
you done any casting today? Have you looked at spec mode at all?
Yeah, he did casting today. He was casting with Bart.
Oh yeah, man. He casts
So,
like 24/7.
What did they add in cast mode today?
So some of the changes that have come down in spectator mode are actually really good. They've added for the bottom middle display, which shows you the whole time, kind of the items and builds and gold that people have, they've added abilities to that. So now you no longer have to hold tab as a shoutcaster. Everybody at any time can see the abilities that have been purchased, which is something that a lot of players are curious about, when they're purchased and so forth. They've also kind of taken out the player perspective. Previously, you were able to have the player perspective where you could see almost exactly where the player was looking. You couldn't get their camera angle, but you got kind of the straightforward view. And they've removed that and added a strict overhead view now in place of that. And I got mixed feelings about that. I kind of like having the player view. I like the option to be able to go into that. But the new view is good also, and I'm kind of hoping in the long run they'll give both options. And they've also fixed the disconnect bug, which is great. So now you don't have to switch to a player perspective every 5 minutes. You can just overhead the whole time if you want, and no one will be the wiser. So those were the primary updates that appeared to me. Still some bugs going down, still some stuff that they have to fix, but it's coming along really nicely.
I do agree. I like they fixed the disconnecting, which is great.
Yeah,
because that was kind of annoying.
Yeah, that was frustrating.
If you click on the HUD player bars, you can get the player view. Dun dun.
Click on player bars.
So I guess they're little
Like the actual player view.
Yeah. One thing
I'm gonna have to click around then and find that.
Yeah, there was I actually had a question since hi-rez Chris is sitting in our chat. There was supposed to be a key that you could hit to make the everything disappear, to where it's straight gameplay. So you could like do video, montages to where you could, just get cool shots that you don't have to worry about cutting down really small and then trying to make them big to make 720, etc. I know there was a key because Bart had mentioned it when he was introducing the spec mode, but I just don't remember what it was. I face rolled the keyboard to no success, and that's what happened. So if we know that key that makes all the UI stuff go away and it's just straight vision, let me know. Usually the Z
I will
key.
tell you one thing that I think that spectator mode really, really needs right now. It's one of the I forgot. One of the biggest changes I forgot, guys. This is huge. Is the announcer pops up now and tells you when somebody dies.
Yeah,
that is
that's
a huge
cool.
change. I was thrilled to get that.
I like the new death icons too. It's so much easier to tell who dies. It gives you the little character, shink, and then moves it to the side of who killed who. So it's like, we killed their team, so it kills them and moves them to our side of the, screen, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's great. I like it a lot. So that way you can easily keep track of who's still alive, because when you're getting down to the action and all you get's a name like Lionheart kills Alakite, you're like, now I have to remember which character Lionheart's playing, which character Alakite's playing, then I have to take them out, and then, it's just so much easier to have that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing that they really, I think, needs to be at the top of the list now for changing spectator mode is the uniform colors. If you don't use colorblind mode right now, people on the minimap will display as green on the blue team, which can be kind of confusing. And if you run colorblind mode, the colors blue team then's the line, but then red team displays as yellow on the minimap, and it can be kind of confusing. Bart and I ran into that today actually when we were co-casting, and so I think if they can get like spectator mode colors, and I think you just adopt the colorblind mode colors and just make one team blue and one team yellow, and then remove kind of like, right now you're allied with one team, right? Whatever team is blue, it thinks that you're allied to. That's got to get fixed also. And as soon as those adjustments come in, I think you're going to have a very, very polished spectator mode. I mean, I can't really tell you outside of that what additional functionality I'm going to be looking for, because that would just pretty much satisfy everything I need to be able to cast a game, in my opinion.
For what they've put out in such a short time, it's amazing. Because like the one thing I'm concerned about is that if they do the being allied with one side as it is because you have to join the game, and it would probably take a whole lot of coding to make you a actual spectator, and then they would have to do whole new announcements for, blue team is killed, instead of saying an ally has been slain or an enemy has been slain, they would have to say something different, like a blue team member has been slain or a yellow team member has been slain. They can't just use, or they could just change it to be like, has been slain. And you have to figure out who.
Yeah.
Just chop the wave a little bit. Spooh, do you have any opinions on the spectator mode? Have you watched any games or have any opinion on it? Anything you would like to see? Because one thing I've heard lots of people saying is that they want to kind of remove either the bottom portion of the buy list and stuff and move it to the top, because it's like there's too much on the screen right now. We need to kind of condense it a little more to where there's more gameplay view. That's the argument I've heard.
Oh yeah, I actually like the spectator mode as it is now, but the new the God has been slain thing, I think it's a bit too delayed as it is now, and it's a bit too big. It takes a bit too much space. Maybe not as a caster or in spectator mode, but when you're playing yourself, then it takes a lot of space. And if you kill somebody, then it's like 2 seconds later, then you will see who you killed. So when they fix that, I think it's going to be really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll agree with
So
that.
you're saying kind of like speed it up to where it makes that like smaller display icon to the right, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or just turn it
then
off.
make it instant and not like
Yeah.
delayed. 2 seconds.
I would agree with
There
the
should be an
instant
option
thing.
to turn it off entirely.
Yeah,
Or
that's-
that, yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea.
All right.
So I guess that about covers it for
Yep,
spectator
that's
mode
it.
today.
So
He removes HUD in spectator mode.
All right, so I just didn't face roll all the way to P. I mean, I swear.
almost. You got right over there.
Yeah, I was.
Yep,
I just
yep.
hit everything but P.
Everything but P.
I just had to go.
you couldn't
Or
do P.
toggle HUD.
No P for you, demon.
Right. Anyway, thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem.
So I guess we'll run on to these patch notes that are
Mhm.
just amazing.
Yep, I love me some of these patch notes.
I want to thank hi-rez for putting out this huge patch 1 week after they did a God patch. I mean, you know, they did all of this stuff so quick.
Yeah. Yeah, they're moving
So,
right along.
they're
I'm
doing
really
a great job at-
And they're changing some of the things that people have been asking them to change.
Yes,
For a
they're
while.
listening to the community. They're taking all of our advice and they're putting it into a big barrel and they're saying, we need to go through all this crap. Let's do it.
Yeah. So some of the highlights, starting at the top, would be changes to the Minotaur. No longer affected by slows. Good. Regenerates his health over time when the Phoenix is up. It's been many months. People have been asking for something like that. I guess it depends on how quickly he regens his health that really matters.
That's a huge change. A huge change. I
Yeah.
mean, it completely changes the whole dynamic of the game. It makes it very, very hard to backdoor. And also the fact that his damage to you scales on how many towers you have up is also great. So it's like if you just take down one lane and one Phoenix and go in there after him, he's going to kick your ass. If you have all of them down, he's not going to do quite so much.
Yep.
That was just, I thought that was amazing. And that was a really good idea, honestly.
Yep. Harder to run in there without doing the work.
Yeah.
So before we just run right through them, Spooh, since you are our special guest today, what on the patch notes did you see that will impact your play and your team and the competitive scene the most?
Have you read the patch notes yet?
Yes.
yeah.
Do you know what slide
as
is?
well. I like the CDR buff camp change is actually pretty good because that might actually make people buy the cooldown reduction items.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it myself right now, but I think this could make them more viable than they currently are because nobody buys them at all. And I really love the gem change. I'm not sure if it's gonna make people not buy gem, but it's still a good nerf for gem.
Yeah, I mean, now that for the people who don't know, the gem of isolation nerf, you have to do damage to make it slow. So it's like Ra's blinding thing won't also slow you because that would be like double slowing since that already slows you in itself. And so it makes it harder to stack a million times.
But the raw slow is actually kind of special. I'm not sure how it works right now, but it does damage at the end. It's actually a longer
Yeah.
slow than it has been before.
Interesting.
It lasts longer, but it's not that.
Well, then
Strong.
I'm a noob. Sorry.
I don't hold it against you. So, the first thing I saw on these patch notes was the Ankh of the Golem. This item has been changed from providing magical protection, mana, and mana per 5 to physical lifesteal, attack speed, and health. Because you're like, we didn't like that item. We're going to remove it and make a new item. Only it's going to keep the same icon in the name.
Well, it was more like it was really niche as it was, and now it's kind of like a broader, audience it's going towards now. So I don't
That's
know.
completely different in every way than
I
what
mean,
it was before.
They just changed it around.
Yeah.
It
was interesting.
It fits its idea more now instead of just being like, oh, we're just kind of like a niche item. Now it's kind of like, okay, it gives you health and the stuff that a physical bruiser wants instead of, oh, here you go, just kind of random stuff.
I wonder if it's more because they mentioned the word golem, and that's usually synonymous with like physical defense or physical tankiness. Lionheart, you
My
look
whole thing on it is this: I like the way they reworked it, right? Like physical lifesteal, attack speed, and health. Like I think that's right on.
Right.
Those are the stats that people are going to want for it. You already need health to be able to make it useful. So the fact that you just get even more health is great. You know, maybe this is an item that you're going to see picked up on like maybe a tanky Odin, for example. But there's a problem with this change, and I think that the problem is that well now we're back to what the heck do AD gods buy who want to get some magical protection but don't want to hurt their damage? That was like an item that was like in
Yeah.
demand, right? Like League of Legends has its
Hex Drinker.
Hex Drinker, thank you, and Maw of however the heck you pronounce the second word.
Yes.
Thank you.
Something
And, you know,
like that.
Say that word
this game
again.
this game has nothing now for that. Like that, I was so thrilled that finally. I mean, granted, the magic protection was pretty low, definitely lower than what I wanted. But now ADs have gone back to well, if there's some magical protection person hitting me ridiculously hard, I don't have anything I can buy without hurting my damage output. It would be nice for like a hybrid. I don't want them to obviously get the magic protection of Stone of Gaia and then still be able to deal DPS, but at least something would be nice. So I think that the change is good, but there's a hole now that they need to fill that they made maybe accidentally.
Yeah, unintentionally, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, there's
Yeah.
a Void Stone gives you magical protection and power, but
Yeah, but that's for
It's
magical.
for casters,
yeah,
though.
yeah, it's for
Gaia
casters,
Stone is still like, oh, I'm the #1 item still.
Yeah,
You
well,
know, it'll be #1 magic protection item.
absolutely. Look at it, because it is.
Yeah.
It's so good over everything else right now.
So, any other items for you, Mr. Spooh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the heart seeker change is incredibly like
Yeah.
it's gonna. I'm not sure if it's gonna reward you better for picking it up and never dying, because the enemy team. I have no idea what people are gonna use now, because I'm still using it on my Wukong or stat.
Mhm.
But I think on heroes like Odin and stuff like that, you will not be picking up Heartseeker anymore.
Yeah, because it
'Cause
takes.
every AD used to pick up Heartseeker, but now you just can't do that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Just because it's gonna take so much longer to get all those stacks, and so much longer
Yeah,
to build
if you
them back
die,
up.
like Wukong doesn't die,
Mhm.
and neither does Bastet, unless you position yourself really stupidly, then you deserve to die. So, like Odin and stuff, they die at every now and then. Same with like Ragni and stuff. So
Mhm.
we'll see. I don't think Heartseeker is going to be picked up as much as it used to.
What do you think is going to take its place?
Yeah.
That's what I say. Like
Devourers,
Wukong
maybe?
Bastet will probably keep using it because they have so much damage on their spells. But I think like Executioner and Quinspell rushes are definitely going to be there for the auto attack champions or gods
Mm.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
like Cupid and Ur and stuff.
Cool.
Mm. Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I still think it's a pretty good item for the price, though. It's so cheap.
what do you think about Doom Orb? Because it's along the same lines as Heartseeker. Do you think it's going to get a similar treatment, or do you think it is fine as is?
I think the casters have better options right now. Like Heartseeker was just a good option because it gave so much damage on your spells and stuff, but the casters have so good options that they don't really need to go that Doom Orb, especially with that new item, Spear of the Magus. I myself think it's a bit too strong, especially on Agony, like doing true damage at level 5 with
I love
those ultimates. It's pretty strong.
Yeah, it is. All right.
Nice. Oh, to explain to some people, like the exact nerf of what happened with Heartseeker was they made it instead of 40 stacks, you can get 60 stacks to get the same damage effect as you did with the 40 stacks. Now, there are 6 waves, or there's 6 creeps per wave, right? And they spawn every minute. So I calculated it out earlier today, and basically on the current or the way the Heartseeker is currently, you have to wait 10 wave or for 10 minutes, so 10 waves, and you have to last hit every creep to get a full, stacks on everything, unless you go to the jungle
Or kill people.
But before the buff, it was 7 minutes. So I mean, they added 3 whole minutes to basically maxing out the Heartseeker. So it puts it more of into a mid game item, wouldn't you say, versus trying to get it maxed early for early game and like really stomping them. So is that going to affect a lot of the items there? You're going to have to change something else instead, as you've already
Yeah, I'm
said.
not sure if it's gonna change the early game that much, because yeah, maybe a little, but I think it's the deaths that's gonna be biggest issue with it now, because it takes you so long to stack it up after
Yeah.
you die.
Right.
It's going to be much more punishing if you lose it or die.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I also the slows on Gem of Isolation and Frostbound Hammer have been reduced. For Frostbound Hammer, it's from 35% to 25%, which is fairly huge. And range attacks are unchanged, and they increase the price. So Frostbound Hammer got a pretty reasonable nerf from what I can hear from most people.
I'm not sure if
for
the
a while.
price increase was needed.
Yeah, I'm with you on there. The price increase was a bit much, but it was what 225.
Yeah,
So-
but I don't know. Like, it didn't give you the best stats. You just bought it for slow. I mean,
Yeah, it was for the slow. But it puts it in line with the Gem of Isolation, which is more or less the same thing for Magic, only not as cool.
except AOE and
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I kind of wondered why they went that route. Like, I don't. The increase in price might be an over nerf. Like, definitely Frostbound, the slow reduction like that I think is a good idea. But like, Gem of Isolation was so strong because you could just drop Agni's like stun cloud. It deals you 10 damage to you, but you would get the maximum slow proc from it. Like, low dot abilities would give you the maximum proc, and I think that's why Gem was such a problem. Frostbound, you had to at least be auto attacking the person and be in melee range and exposed to create the proc, as opposed to Gem of Isolation, where you can be quite far away and still trigger that proc.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that.
Correction note: creeps spawn every 30 seconds, and I blame all of you guys on the panel for not knowing that either and correcting me. So I am not the only one at fault here. You're not like, no, it's every 30 seconds. I said a minute, and you guys are like, yeah, we'll go with that. It's your fault too. But I do want to address Mr. All-Star Playa, bro. Why is Lionheart the only 30-year-old on the stream with 17-year-olds and 20-year-olds? For starters, I'm about to be 30. Lionheart, how old are you?
I'm 25, but you shouldn't pay him any attention. He's somebody from my Mumble community. He's just trolling.
I see.
Oh, even more attention.
Well, I'm curious. Am I the oldest one on the stream right now?
No.
So he said he's 35 or 25?
Spooh is 70.
Spooh is 70.
Oof.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure All-Star Player is 25 himself, so hypocrite.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think about the change for Gem of Isolation to only proccing when it's being done damage?
it kind of makes sense. It was really stupid. Like, Hell was... I think that was part of the problem with Hell, was like, oh, I have this giant long-range 2 that's AoE, and it slows everyone and catches them out of position, and now they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll fix a lot of the problems. Like, Sobek won't permanently slow you in his ult.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, other gods like that won't have insane stuff like that.
Oh, Kwang's too. The Slither, the speed boost used to slow.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Because that makes sense.
That
I
was
mean, the
pretty
ability
cool.
should do it anyway, but, you know, whatever.
Did they changed the assist system in this patch too, didn't they?
Was that last one or was that this one?
I didn't see anything about it.
Was the last one.
That
I
was the
think.
last
Yeah,
one.
that was last
that was the last patch, the damage for the assist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was talking with KO earlier today about the patch notes, and I started talking about assists because I thought they did it in this one for some reason.
Nope.
But
Yeah,
ignore
I mean,
me. Ignore me.
So they changed Vimana back.
yeah,
Good job.
you guys agree that was a needed change back, other than him just owning everybody, chasing
well,
everyone
it
down.
was like
Oh, it was so much fun.
before the patch. It was like he's still pretty good. He's just a bit more niche than some of the other gods. And now it's like, or then it was like, oh, now he needs to be in every single comp, and now he's kind of back to. He's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Alaquoit's voice is out of sync. Alaquoit,
Alaquoit.
I don't know.
Canadian.
I liked when they changed it before, but it was definitely really, really strong. But then in the same patch they changed it back and nerfed Frostbound Hammer also. So
Yeah, it's harsh.
I go back and forth because like I was so thrilled. Now when they changed it, it was like, well, now you don't need to buy Frostbound Hammer on him, and now it's like, well, yeah, you do. And oh, by the way, we increased the slow. See you later, Vimana.
It's like, I don't need this item. Okay, you need it, and it's more expensive and not as good. Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
see. We'll see how it plays. I mean, Vamana is, picked for a number of reasons, including his really, really good wave clearing capability.
Oh yeah, he'll still be strong.
So, yeah, I think he'll still definitely be picked. But I mean, I don't know. All I'm trying to say is I don't know if it was a good change to revert it. I think maybe they could have waited one more patch and seen how the Frostbound Hammer nerf kind of played out before they took it back, or waited one more patch for the Frostbound Hammer nerf.
So do you think that Vamana was the only reason that they nerfed Frostbound, or was there another problem? Was anybody having an issue?
No, because everybody's been
no.
complaining about slows for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
People
not
have been
bad.
complaining that every slow ability is like too strong. That like the place here is like every melee has to have a Frostbound unless they're burst damage melee, like a Wukong or Bastet, or every caster needs Gem of Isolation to kite. And people are just so fed up with like the perma slow that's been in this game from those items. So I think that's why we're finally seeing those nerfs come out.
Yep.
Cool.
So
I've always preferred the Creeping Curse though over Frostbound because it's 500 gold instead of 2,350. That's such a big difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's quite a big difference. So is anybody surprised that they didn't change Hand of Gods this patch? They didn't make it. They didn't make it more expensive.
Now 1,000
You
gold.
know,
Yeah.
I thought I was going to see the ability slot change this patch. They had talked about that forums, and you guys talked about on the show last week that they said they were going to reduce, or at least toying with the idea of reducing ability slots from 3 to 2. I thought that was going to be in this patch, and then it wasn't, and I was kind of disappointed because that would have made it real interesting.
Yeah, it would have.
To see what people are picking up ability-wise.
Yeah, I mean, especially with all the nerfs to the slows, and then you can only get 2 abilities. Get a hog, and then you have to pick between Heavenly Agility and Creeping Curse versus both.
Or all sorts of other really nice things.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
whoever thinks of those things.
I mean, the vast majority
No
of
one
them
ever
are really
picks-
good. And
No one ever picks Girdle.
I don't know. I had a game where I was playing Sobek, and I meant to buy Hand of Gods and ended up with Girdle of Might. And that was actually really good because I went around killing people at the beginning of the game. They're like, oh, we can smack them. I'm like, I'm like Thor. Rah!
Did you misclick horribly or something? Or
Apparently
what?
I did. I noticed I'm
Okay.
like, wait, why can't I buy all these potions? This is different. It was fun. So another
Awkward.
viable early game item. Because remember what people were saying with Thor, his passive gives him all that physical power?
Right.
Well, it's the same thing Girdle of Might does. So if you want early kills,
Thor with Girdle of Might.
yeah,
Yeah.
We're
obviously.
debating.
We had that conversation today actually on the stream with Bart. I almost was a little put on the spot. He was like, "So I think Girdle of Might's actually viable early game. What do you think, Lionheart?" And I was like, well, I guess if you level 1 font, you use the aggression. Maybe if you said Girdle of Might and Creeping Curse on Thor, but I don't know. I just think I don't know. Girdle of Might, that kind of designed item hasn't worked in any other game I've seen it in. I don't think it's gonna work at Smite either. It's just
you have,
people don't want that steroid, dude. They don't care about flat values, even if the
have,
research makes sense.
Yeah.
you have
and-
Mirror/Stun Bot level 1 with Creeping Curse, and you both have double Creeping Curse, and can secure that kill maybe, but it's just so useless late game.
yeah, it's so useless late game. I think that's the major
We tried
thing.
We tried some really funny stuff where we did Emir Anubis and we did double Girdle of Might and we picked both stuns early game. We killed someone in 3 auto attacks. That was pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's strong,
So is that the new meta?
but
Yeah, but you do the same with Hands of the Gods. Just go Hands the Wave and then double stun them, and the minions will just kill them anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have kind of
That's pretty fun.
an off-random question.
off random. I like it.
Off-random. Do you guys think that the game has been out long enough now that we can officially say it has a meta? Because, I mean, I know people get all anal and angsty whenever you say metagame, and they're like, oh, it's too early for that! And you're like, oh, shut up. And, I mean, it develops a metagame. People tend to play certain ways. So would you officially say we've reached meta stage?
I would say so, but the
Metastasis.
problem isn't as much that it's in beta. It's just that everything's changing so much. The Four Hands of Gods meta has already been, pretty quickly changed. I
Right.
mean, it hasn't gone away, but people are, starting to be like, oh, we could buy, 2 of them, and it'll still be pretty decently effective and stuff like that. So I think it's, I think stuff is going to change too fast for us to be like, oh, it's exactly a meta, but there is a meta. I don't know how to explain it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically you guys think maybe there's too many incoming changes to get a definitive, like, here's how you're supposed to play? I mean, there's general rules of thumb. Like, you know,
Oh yeah.
you can't jungle 24/7. You can't.
Mhm.
There's lots of things you can't do. It might just be more of.
No, there's a
just
lot
gotta
of things you shouldn't do.
Okay.
You are
shouldn't
more
do.
than capable of doing them. You
Right.
just shouldn't.
Right.
Yeah, you can jungle 24/7, if
And
you don't
lose.
mind being level 3 when everyone in the game is level 7.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
What do
You
you
can
think?
also
Spooh?
jungle in the right lane. Some people, like when you go into the normal games, you see players thinking that you have to be in the left lane to jungle. That's actually kind of annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want that normal game meta out.
All
I
right, you
really
heard it.
do. I wish it would get down to lower players because there's still a lot of games that are like, oh, I got to have a jungler because other games have a jungler, so I must do this.
So you think a lot of that's carryover from League and Dota and stuff like that is they have
Yeah,
junglers,
sure.
and so they come over here and they're, I have to have a jungler or else we're not going to win.
Yeah.
And he has to be on the left lane.
Yes.
And everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that left lane meta is like left over from like where the buffs used to be, and now that the buffs
Yeah.
have been rearranged, you really can go anywhere. And jungler, I mean, honestly, when you're actually jungling, if you're really gonna try and do nothing but clear buffs, green buff's far more important to you than blue buff ever could be. Blue buff's much better than lane for being able to jump in and harass.
Harass.
So I agree. I agree with what Spooh's saying that mindset that jungler has to be left is wrong. Now, like certain ADs, right? Like Wukong or Bastet maybe shine better in left because they have high mana costs, and that blue buff is pretty essential to them early on if they want to lay down a lot of that damage. But certainly none of that is necessary. But I agree with what's being said about the jungler meta, and this is kind of why I've pushed so hard. And everybody in this community kind of knows that I've always been kind of advocating towards hi-rez to at least make dedicated jungling a possibility. I would much rather see more of like the Dota 2 balance where it's just an option. It's not the only strategy. I don't want something like League of Legends where all they do is jungle and you have to jungle every game or you're going to lose. But like I would at least like to see it made more realistic. I think right now, like legitimately, if all you do is farm buffs, you're going to be under leveled. I think you have no choice but to lane at least for a little bit in this game, even if that's your goal, or you just won't succeed.
And one thing I would like to dissuade people of, because I see this a lot, I'll see someone go into the jungle, they'll get 3 or 4 buffs, they'll run into the lane, kill a wave, and then leave again. And I'm like, what's the point? You're doing all that work to get really strong, and then you're doing nothing. And I'm like, awesome. I'm
Or
going
they
to
run
kill
in
your
and die.
friend.
They can run in and die too. That's always
Yeah.
good.
And I hear Hebo is really good in the jungle.
So Lionheart,
that's-
tell us about the Hebo jungle.
Yeah,
Explain
yeah.
that.
Our
I
chat.
used to jungle Hebo actually. I looked at those player stats today on normal games, and I opened up my player stats, and I never play Hebo, and my stats were like 63 wins and 3 losses. And it was all from when I used to jungle him back in the day, dude. I did nothing but jungle Hebo every single game, and it was amazing. And then people found out they could stack hand of gods, and I never got to do it again because I would go into the jungle, and everything would. By the time I was done with green and blue, everything was gone, and I just would have to go straight to the lane. He used to be a beast jungler. Before people found out they could stack Hand of the Gods, my 2 favorite junglers were Hebo and Agni. They had amazing ganks. They had huge damage. This was before Hebo's passive got nerfed. So you were able to build up those stacks, and really, each new spell you casted did, like, a ridiculous amount of increased damage. And Agni had his longer stun, so you could come into the lane and just wombo combo people. It was amazing.
Yep.
It's gone now. I would never recommend somebody take Hebo and just try to dedicated jungle now. You're going to get wiped. Do it.
Yes, all the people who are against me, please do that. Please, Hebo jungle.
The reason though you can't have a dedicated jungler is because if you're in lane, you can take the creep wave in lane, and then you can go to the jungle, kill the buff, and then you can go back to the lane and get full experience from the lane as well. So if you like spend too long time in the jungle, you lose the creep wave experience in the lane. So maybe if they up the time of killing buffs or something, maybe that could fix the issue where you can't have dedicated junglers. But it's a tough one. I have no idea how you can balance it, but
I think you would have to almost do like a full redesign of the jungle. I don't think you could change like 1 or 2 things because it's just the nature of it. Like 4-minute respawn timers, really powerful buffs that last a while that you pick up. Like it's just the way it works. There's just really no way. All it takes is the enemy team to clear 1 or 2 buffs, and you're just done. There's just not enough stuff for you to kill to stay up to level.
Yeah.
So I was looking. One of the last things I wanted to say on the patch notes. I was looking through them and I saw that they changed staff of mana. MP5 has been removed and now provides 10, 20, 30 physical, and it's 100 cheaper. And I looked at it. I'm like, okay, so 5 more physical protection and no more mana, and I'm like, did this item really need that kind of treatment? I mean, no one ever got it anyway. You make it worse?
What do you mean? Make it wait? What worse?
Well, they removed the mana per 5, so
Okay.
it's protection and mana.
Okay.
Did anybody use it in the
lost
first
10
place?
mana for 5 and gained 30 physical protection.
Oh,
How is that?
wrong? Yeah, protection.
How is that
and
a
it gives
nerf?
power. Yeah, so protection,
But-
power. Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
change
But either
change
way,
from power to give
yeah.
you protection.
no mana, so it has physical protection, physical power, and mana. So what kind of gods would you expect to see this on? Now that it has protection.
Yeah.
I don't think I would get it on any hero, honestly.
Nice. See, that's what I was expecting. I'm like,
Yeah.
Like Void Blade, you have so many better options, and that mana, I don't know, like you have the mana buff and mana potions and everything. You don't really need that mana on any carry or anything.
Cool.
Yep, that's
That
my
answers that
thinking too.
question.
I'm like,
It's just
And
so
it's
expensive
expensive.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much. It costs so much for what it is.
Yeah.
mhm.
I mean, I'm sure that's like the problem, right? It's like all in our head. Like I'm sure somewhere they have a spreadsheet where like they have some formula and it adds up and that's actually the correct price for what it provides. But it's just like in our heads, it's just like, well, that's not actually worth it to us. We'd rather take our 2,600 elsewhere. It's like that
Yeah.
factor, right, that you can't calculate on an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
That human factor.
Absolutely. Well, I think that wraps it up for the patch notes. Anything else that you guys noticed that we missed, maybe?
No.
oh yeah,
Can you
I
change?
got one.
Yeah, what do you got?
Well,
I really
go
like
Ymir
Ymir
first. Go
change.
Ymir first.
Oh, something got
Now
changes.
he's able to use his 2 and then move a lot
Yeah,
faster.
yes,
I haven't
yes.
tried it myself, but I've heard people say it's really good.
Mm.
And I think Ymir needed like some movability change because he's so
Mhm.
slow anyway, and he can't ever escape. So
Yeah, he just
it's
derps
good.
in lane when he casts that. Just
Yeah.
like, "Psh."
And then waits.
Okay, we can go now.
Yeah, made it
The
almost.
other thing,
Hmm?
the
Sorry.
other thing I noticed was that they fixed a glitch. hi-rez Chris will be proud about this. He's the reason it was fixed. We showed him that you could solo, previously, before this patch, you could solo Fire Giant without Kwang, without taking any damage. And they patched that by making Fire Giant be able to hit you outside of the volcano.
So what? So since it's patched and we don't have to worry about people abusing it, what could you do beforehand?
You could.
Before you just sat at that entrance, right outside of aggro, and you could drop this tornado, and it would slowly chip down Fire Giant's health, and as long as none of your allies or anyone else stepped in there, and he just kept doing it over and over, it would take its health down without ever picking up aggro, and then you could finish it off with the ultimate.
It also
Nice.
sounds like it takes forever, so
About 2 minutes of being out, maybe a little bit less, maybe about a minute. You would need to be guarded, obviously, but I mean, a minute disappearing, you can take. Let me correct you. That takes a minute or about at like the 10-minute mark. So you just disappear from the lane for 10 minutes, like you AFK or something. Have somebody hold your lane, and as long as they never went over there, I mean, not everybody has Fire Giant warded at 10 minutes in. You could pick up a 10-minute Fire Giant.
Yeah.
But you can still do this on the other buffs, right?
Should be able
You
to.
can do it on both Fury
You
and
could
all the
still-
other buffs.
You could still take buffs from the lane, yeah.
Yeah.
That's still available. You just can't. You just can't clear Fire Giant anymore, which is a pretty big buff,
Yeah.
especially 10 minutes in.
Yeah, 10 minutes in. Ouch. That reminds me of the whole team going. What was it? The AoE damage.
Oh, you're talking about the,
Mystical Mark.
Yeah,
yeah,
Mystical
Mystical
Mark,
Mark.
yeah.
The whole team going Mystical
That
Mark
was a
and doing
nightmare, dude.
like 3-minute
I think we
file
did
giants.
5-minute fire giants.
Yeah, 5-minute fire giants.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I think the record was 3
yeah.
or something stupid.
Good,
Oh, wow.
good times on that.
It
Good
was.
times. All right. Anything else we wanted to mention before we move on to?
Oh, I guess we can talk about the ESN tournament coming up this weekend.
Why you changed Deathbringer sprite? I really hate the blue color of Deathbringer now.
Oh,
Really? I like it.
I think it's like in your head you kind of have this vision that red equals like physical stuff and blue kind of equals magical. So now it's like, oh, it's blue.
It's ruined.
I don't know.
It's ruined.
Ruined. It's ruined. votes too.
Like, I mean, it looks
definitely
cool. I just don't
conflicts
want
with
the
that
blue.
with that pattern. They were keeping that pattern before. I noticed that too, where all the like magic items were glowing blue and the physical were glowing red, and that definitely throws it away. But
Chris is like, oh my god, the new icon's better. F you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, thank you, Chris, for that new icon. I'm sure you put a lot of work into it.
Yes.
So
I think
I
it looks
guess
good.
we will move on to the ESN tournament. Who are we going to get some predictions? I want to get predictions. Lionheart, since you're the latest caster.
you got to give me a
go.
win
What is this tournament? Yeah, I have no idea who's in it.
Yeah, I don't know who's in it either yet. I don't think there's a whole lot of information about it yet.
Who's gonna win? Who's in it?
Just assume that everybody's gonna sign up.
Exactly.
I search ESN tournament on Google and ESPN pops up.
Yeah, it's
Speaking
actually,
of,
okay,
the,
sign up and rules. I got it here. It's
pro-
in my. I have my lovely what to expect this week thing that I post every Sunday night, a Monday, depending on which time I remember to do it. So I found it there. Continuing on, go ahead. I'll look see if I can find people who are
I was
signed up.
saying, ESPN reminded me that the pro football coach,
Yes, the
officiants
referees.
are back. So just thought I'd throw that out there in case any of you smart people play football, American football, since I know we have
All right,
you
here's some
EU people out there.
here's
We're
some
missing,
teams.
Like a lot of people here. We don't have like Agni Mid or BLGNA or Reason. We're missing a lot of the NA teams here.
All right,
This is
somebody
the
go and yell at
tournament
KO right now to make him sign up.
This is a tournament that separates NA and EU, right? So there's two different tournaments going on.
Yeah.
And then they meet in the
There's an
final.
EU winner and an NA winner, right?
Yeah.
Or did they do the? Okay, yeah, they did that
Yeah,
one.
I guess that's why they're
It
separate.
wasn't the
Okay.
overall winner.
So I'm going to go ahead and predict BLGEU versus ESGEU in the finals for Europe. I'll just say who I think is going to win because I honestly have no idea. But I think that's going to be the matchup there. As far as North America, no. First off, I don't know like any of these teams.
Yeah.
Oh man, so I heard some rumors that there were some roster changes going on in the NA teams.
Oh yes,
Can
yeah.
somebody confirm this to me?
Yes.
Tell me
Yes.
about this a little bit because
Yes.
the rumors reach me, but I don't want to speak on something that I don't know is fact.
Yeah. So the rumor with BLGNA is that Jerby has left. We had just departed. It was just not quite working out like we'd planned. So I mean, everybody's still on good terms. Nobody's mad at each other. It's just just sometimes you just can't quite work it out. So you just move on. So he has gone over to Juice Gaming, and he is replacing DFAT over in Juice Gaming mid lane. We're still, I think, waffling on who we're picking up for his spot. But other than that, everybody else, KO, Zapman, Sparks, and Decay are still pretty much the lineup for right now. So we'll let you know as that
It
changes.
looks like BLGN is using the best in the tournament.
Yes, that was the thing that we're waffling on. So I'll have to get confirmation from KO to make sure. I'm pretty sure that's what he wants to run for this tournament, though.
Yep.
He signed up for that with the best.
Okay,
The
then yeah.
best? Who's the best?
He's the best.
He's the
So,
guy.
He's a
the best.
he's just somebody who plays. I've seen him in high ranked games. Yeah. I don't really know how else to describe it.
I mean,
he plays Honor. I've seen him play Honor a couple times.
He's a really, really good Hebo. But
Okay.
we'll see who they send mid, though. They have Decay and the best on the team, and they're both mid players, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a bunch of good guys on there.
So yeah, how do you think this is gonna? How do you think this will affect Juice Gaming now with Jerby on there instead of DFAT?
Jeremy
Any
hangs
opinion?
out with them a lot, so I don't know how much it's going to affect. Both of them are good players. I don't know how much he hangs out with them a lot, so I don't know how much it's going to throw. Like, the thing is when you change up a roster on a team, then the team synergy kind of takes a change also, right? Because you had your habits, you had your kind of ways of working together, and that throws everything for a loop. And I think that's actually was and please don't take this the wrong way, anybody in the community, but I actually think that was one of the downfalls of ESGNA is because they kept changing their roster so much that it was hard to build team synergy. So I think that both teams are going to be in a vulnerable spot in this tournament, which makes the tournament really exciting and really hard to predict because you don't know who's going to adapt the new player into their roster better than the other team. And so it's going to be a huge loop. I think that's going to actually put Reason Gaming, if they decide to sign up, sort of at an advantage in the NA bracket because they're not changing anything up. So it's going to be interesting which one of those teams or if both of those teams end up having to meet Reason Gaming and test their synergy against them because, you know, they play together every day and they play for quite a while every day. That's going to kind of throw things for a loop. I definitely think you're going to see Reason Gaming in the finals because of that. But out of the other two teams, I don't know which one is going to make it. It's going to come down to who can synergize better and deal with the roster change better.
Yeah,
I agree.
I do. Alakite, you look like you want to say something.
Go for it.
I'll try and say it nicely. I
Why?
think replacing DFAT was a bad idea. DFAT, I would say, this is my opinion, but I would say that DFAT was better than Jerb. The only problem he had was he was not very versatile, and the fact that he could only run like 1 or 2 gods mid. But I think overall he was a bit better player than Jerb, but I don't know.
We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, we'll see.
No offense to anybody there, obviously.
Yeah,
Well, it's interesting because DFAT sometimes even rotated, right? When they would have Xing play middle, DFAT would be part of their side lane comp also, and so that's like an ace in the hole that they lose, right? How is Xing ever going to get middle again if all Jerby plays is middle? So then they lose that versatility that they used to have before. They used to be able to switch it up, right? Hey, we're going to send Xing middle with Kali and see how you deal with this, and then, oh, okay, now we're going to put DFAT in the side lane. Maybe we'll run like a Zeus Odin combo or something like that, and now that kind of ace in the hole is gone for them. Jerby only plays middle, so I mean, at least I think he only plays middle. Maybe he's gonna try and keep that position alive so that they can rotate. I don't know, but that was something unique that they had before that they could bring to the table that I thought was great. So if one of those, champions or gods that they need for middle lane gets banned out, well, hey, we'll just rotate. Now, there's not really any rotating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jerb isn't much more versatile. I've seen him like versus a lot of the scrims of Reason Gaming that you were casting last night. He ran hell in almost every game, and while Lassise was able to run like Hades mid, Vamana mid, all these crazy mids, well, Jerb was just kind of running hell almost every time.
But the question is, who is winning?
Oh,
yeah, I
Lassise.
guess. Yeah.
There you
One
go.
does not beat Lassise mid.
Speaking of
One does
not
not
beating,
simply walk into Lassise's lane.
speaking of not beating Lassise mid, Spooh, how did you guys beat Lassise mid?
I think that like Lassise usually gets the mono buff and the yellow buff, right? So
Right.
it's really hard to beat Lassise 1 versus 1 mid. What we did though was capitalize on the lane that didn't have mono buff and yellow buff. So basically, we know that they are 2 buffs short. They only get the experience for it. So we try to capitalize on that and destroy that lane. And on top of that, we want to gank Lassise as much as possible because
Yeah.
he is like I don't know, he's like their soul around their team or like something. I don't know. He just
Yeah.
he's usually
that
doing really
guy.
well. So we just have to shut him down basically.
Yeah.
I think
He
it's
gets a lot of support from his teammates, a lot of support as far
Yeah.
as like
Yeah.
buff control and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you get that kind of support in middle lane, and already being as good of a player as he is, it really puts you in a dominant position.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one thing I noticed in the game is that you guys did a good job. It kind of seems to be like Reason Gaming's patterns from the games I spectated, at least on them, that Lazis will usually carry through the early mid game, and then when teams start to focus him down, they tend to do it too late, and they neglect Wolfie, and then Wolfie farms up, and then comes in with an AD carry and is able to do a lot of damage that way. And that
Yeah.
tends to be their pattern as far as the games that they've really done well in, is this kind of Lazis really doing work early on, and then Wolfie getting really big for the late game, and then the whole team pulling together. And I mean, it's not to say that the whole team is those 2 players. That's not the case at all. It's,
Right.
a team is a team. But those are kind of tends to be the trend that I've noticed, at least in their games, is that those are the 2 players who usually have, let's say, the highest KDA at the end of games.
Yeah, and of course, as soon as a team figures out that they just got to start shutting those 2 down, then the other 2 will just start up their own little thing.
Exactly.
It's what you do if you have really great team synergy. Is they're like, okay, they're shutting both of us down. We need you guys to do X, and to start changing it up on them, to where they can't predict who's going to be the carry, so to speak. So, shall we open up the phones and let people call because my Skype's starting to get spammed.
Yeah, if you want to call us up,
Yeah. Feel free to message us, and I'll call you. We'll start the list now.
Perfect.rain on Skype.
Yeah.
Just to throw my little 2 cents in with listening to you talk about how to beat the other team. It's really good to hear other teams like, all right, we watched them, we know how they play. This is what we're going to do in order to counteract their strategy. And now I'm just waiting until they're like, okay, well, since this is what everybody's going to do, we're just going to play against that. And then when they go to gank them, they'll all die. So I'm really looking forward for the back and forth on how they all go. It's good games in the future, I expect.
Yeah. So we have a Crazy 8 on with us. How are you doing today? Pretty good. Pretty good.
What's your question for us, sir?
Yeah.
I was wondering, you guys didn't mention it. What about Heartseeker in the latest patch notes?
I believe we went over that a little bit.
Yeah, we went over that pretty well. The quick thing is it's going to be a lot harder to get up quickly. As to whether it's going to be a early game item, who knows? But Alakite?
Well, I don't know. It's the movement speed / attack damage is still a really helpful stat. It's just right now it's more worth it on like carry I wouldn't say carries, people that can stay alive. Like if you're playing a really safe Bastet or Wukong, it's worth it. But if you're playing like, a tank that wants to get in their face, like if you're trying to play Odin, I'm just using Spooh's examples that are gonna die a lot, then maybe not so much worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it changes it going forward, because it's all of a sudden not nearly as powerful as quickly, and dying punishes you a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've only played one ranked game on Bastet since the change came in, but I mean, I noticed right away, like if you die, you're not going to get full stacks back pretty much. If you go down once, sometime in the middle game, you're not going to have time to get full stacks back unless you're just completely neglecting team fights and not being present with your team. And that's going to be a huge penalty for you. I mean, you'll slowly start to build up stacks, and if you live long enough, eventually you'll get them back. But I mean, I think I had a pretty good score in that game, and I don't think after I died my first death, I don't think I ever had max stacks again until the very end. So, and when I say pretty, I mean like a good KDA, so I didn't die a lot. But it's hard, dude. It's hard to farm up 60 stacks to get that much CS with your teammates also farming, and then with how many engagements go on in this game. Smite's very active in team fighting once the laning phase ends. So,
do you think they should go into an LOL sort of deal where like if you die, you lose like 2/3 of your stacks maybe, and then like sort of like that? That way you can transition into the game easier.
I wouldn't mind that, but then I think, and I'll let everybody else speak on their half, but I will say that if they do that, then it almost defeats the purpose of nerfing it in the first place. Because it's just going to become the primary pickup again for every AD.
Yeah, I mean, it would totally negate what they just did if you let them get 2/3 back. They could just drop it back down to 40 and call it done.
Yeah.
How about, now this is obviously a serious matter, and I know you guys didn't bring this up. Fatalis. It shall be nerfed. It's way too strong. The 8% movement speed, too strong.
Too strong.
We need to get rid of it.
But Fixie's not on here. It's not any fun without Fixie.
Fatalis OP. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Everyone should go
Fatalis
Fatalis
is-
that isn't on my team.
Right. Right. Cool. Well, thank you very much. Did you have any other quick questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
Yes.
yeah, I'm full of questions. What do you got for us, Crazy Eights?
Okay.
All right.
All right. This is a serious matter also.
Uh-oh.
Lassis mid. Shall he go man mode on you again?
Probably.
Is this going to happen?
Um,
And how are you going to stop his man modeness?
Are you talking to Spooh, I presume?
Yes.
Okay.
You put a tower there.
I like that. That
well
was
played, sir.
That was very well played. Thank you very much for your call, Mr. Crazy 8.
Thank you.
No problem. So we're gonna move
was
right
great.
along. Moving right along. Waiting for our next person to pick back up. Because what I like to prefer is that you call me or you message me and then I call you instead of having a billion Skypes popping up in my face saying, "Oh, I'm trying to call you. I'm trying to call you. What the hell is that noise?" Oh, sorry, it's Belize. Ha! Hey, how are you doing? Are you calling from your toilet while it's flushing?
No, I'm calling from work again.
Oh,
Need the
nice.
laptop.
Sweet.
You work in a cave?
You work in a
No,
water
I
treatment
am
plant.
a security guard, so I'm in a desk. It's very echoey.
We can tell.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Continue on.
Yeah.
What is your question, sir?
Desk.
One question. First question is for Lion. With the item display at the bottom, do you think that should be more of a Dota 2 style tab, or you can just kind of open it up and it's kind of like on the side, or maybe
Spec mode he's talking about.
yeah, spec mode. Do you think that would improve the spectator mode a little bit? Because like with League of Legends, it has the same thing, and it's just ugly as all snot. I feel that item box just really kind of takes up most of the screen where a lot of the action would be. And I kind of watch you kind of constantly trying to drag the screen into position because they keep going hidden with those item boxes. Do you think that would improve it at all?
I don't think that it would necessarily be a bad thing to have an option to kind of tab it down and make it go down and then come back up, or wherever they decide to place it, kind of a hide feature, and then you could show it. It's almost like a give and take, right? Because people at different times who are watching the stream will want to know like who has what items. But and then the thing about Smite is that because there's so much action in Smite, it never really calms down other than a little bit in the laning phase, the early laning phase sometimes, is that it can be hard for a caster to remember to tab it back up. But I certainly think having the option there wouldn't be bad, and I definitely wouldn't mind trying it and kind of, maybe let's say every 5 or 6 minutes when things have calmed down, bring it up when I'm just talking about like the action that just happened or something like that, and then being able to quickly take it down during a team fight. I personally don't have the biggest problem with that display, but if the general feedback from the community is that they would like to see that display maybe tabbed down so that they could get more of the action, certainly I wouldn't be opposed to that, and I think it's a good optional feature at the very least to have available for casters.
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of like the in StarCraft, where you can basically make the UI go away for team fights, or not team fights, but large engagements in StarCraft. And so, I mean, they have that feature there, so it would be something neat like that that would be implemented and be neat.
Right. I mean, it might be argued that the queue feature is good enough where it just takes everything away, but the thing is you don't want everything to go away, right? You want to be able to see player health.
It's P.
And whether or not an ultimate's up.
P.
Right,
Q
right.
makes you go down.
I mean,
Oh, P, sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
with Dota 2, I used to cast Dota 2 stuff a while back, and it mainly was just kind of getting in the rhythm of going, okay, well, it's downtime, let's bring up the gold graph, let's take a look at the items, let's look at the creep kills and all that fun stuff. So, I mean, as far as like casting-wise, it probably wouldn't be too difficult. It'd just kind of be a little bit extra thing you would have to remember. But then again, I haven't actually used spec mode yet, and I'm not sure how complicated all the silly key commands you guys have to do
It's
while
not really
casting
that
is.
bad.
It's not that bad
So-
yet.
It's not that bad
Okay.
yet. But then
That's
again, you have to
encouraging.
know what
That's
they are.
encouraging. And then my last kind of question for, I guess, just all of you guys, with Zeus just kind of being his uselessness, I guess, if you want to call him that. I mean,
Ouch.
he's honestly really bad, at least in the higher competitive level play. I mean, he's squishy. His escape's pretty good, but his overall damage output just kind of is meh.
Ouch.
My question to you guys is, how would you guys make him more viable?
Take that one, Alakite. We'll
Yeah.
circle it around.
Buff chain lightning somehow to make it so that he basically isn't super or only reliant on his 3 and ultimate. I don't know how you'd go about that, but
Yeah, because his Chain Lightning endgame is extremely strong.
Yeah.
But up until mid to endgame, it's not...
Yeah.
What it's good for is building stacks, not necessarily the damage on it. Although, between 2 people, it can get kind of harsh.
Mm-hmm.
But... how about you, Spooh? What do you think?
I'm not sure. I feel like it might be the other way around. Like his damage is insane early
Mhm.
game, but his escape is a
Not
bit
so good.
meh. Honestly, but I don't know.
Kind of like... Dragon.
Also, the way he puts those orbs on you, like he has to auto attack. You can't, like if you want to nuke that Wukong in the team fight, it's kind of hard to nuke that Wukong unless you pop your ultimate or something. Like you have to auto attack to get those orbs on, and I just don't think he's. I'm not sure actually. I have no idea how you can balance it. It's
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
What
if you...
about this? What if his auto attack, so say change his Chain Lightning to a glaive style attack, kind of like Luna in Dota 2, where it would bounce off the creeps or the gods like maybe 1 to 2 times, and then you could actually get a good amount of stacks on team fights instead of just having to rely on your ult, or maybe having to rely on your auto attack or your Chain Lightning. Or do you think that would be incredibly overpowered? Because it actually sounds kind of overpowered now that I mention that.
Yeah, I mean, they would have to adjust his damage output. I think if you're able to just like auto attack 5 times and stack the entire trigger your ultimate overpower, I mean, like, he's gonna become tier 1 real fast.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, part of the problem I think is just his kit's a little toxic in that like all of his damage revolves around his 3. All your damage shouldn't revolve around one ability on number 1, especially with one that has as high as 3 does. But number 2, like, it's kind of what Spooh's been saying. His damage early on is so good, but he has no escape early on. Then later on, he can kite around a lot because he's max shield. But if he hasn't gotten, if he hasn't made himself big, the damage is, it's okay. It's not that great. And auto attacking in a team fight as a mage, there's a couple of actual mage characters in the game who have like auto attacks as ways of proccing things or building up. I don't like it. I don't think that a mage should ever be in a position where they're forced to auto attack. I think auto attacking on any kind of a mage should be something that either involves you proccing poly or you last hitting in the lane, and that's it.
Absolutely.
Mages in all other games, they're not sitting there, let me auto attack you a little bit. Now I lose.
Yeah, and his Aegis Shield, when you attack him with an auto attack, it does apply a charge to you, but if you're talking mid to late game and you're being auto attacked by a monkey, I think he'd be willing to eat 1 charge for the sheer crazy amount of damage he's going to do to you. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and your detonate's on a cooldown, so you're only going to be able to do it once. So it's kind of like,
Unless it's a really long team fight.
Yeah, if it's like that team fight on that video we have for you at the end here, I mean, team fights like that, I mean, if Zeus had like, I don't know, 50,000 health and 2,000 armor like he does in that, then, I mean, you're good, but...
Yep. Well, cool. Does that answer your question, sir?
Blades.
Yep, thanks, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. Thanks for calling. Let's get on to our next caller. As soon as you picked up.
All right, we have...
Such an odd show that you call us in and we call you up.
I know. With
So-
Damasio on the line.
Yes. How are you doing?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
sir.
You sound
Okay,
fantastic.
Does he?
I've kind of got like a two-part question.
2-part.
Yeah, it's based around the same thing. It's not 2 different questions.
Right.
Go. Basically, the AI things in the game, like arachne spiders, Bakasura's creeps, and things like that.
Kitties?
Currently, I don't know if they give you stacks or not. So that's the first part of the question. When you kill those
yeah, they do.
AI creeps, do they give you stacks?
Yes, they do.
Okay, I wanted to know that first.
They give you stacks for anything, basically.
Okay. Here, I got to turn off my sound on the stream because I'm echoing pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. That's all right.
Okay. The next part of the question is do you feel that those, especially Basset's cats, because they're so OP, the only credit you get for killing them is that they don't kill you. They give no XP, they give no gold. Do you feel that change should be something they should look to in the future, or should they just leave it the way it is now?
No,
It depends on what it is. It's like,
give 'em
you
1,000
shouldn't
more
get
health.
gold for killing an arachne egg. They're super weak.
Yeah.
But, Bastet's cats where you have to waste 2/3 of your kit to really kill them. Now that you might want to be like, okay, they can give like, a certain amount of gold each.
Like 2?
As long as it's not like
Well, I mean,
gold.
yeah. I mean, they're an ability.
I wouldn't say it's unreasonable to say that you get a little bit of money for tanking those damn cats. I mean, if you're the one that just manages to get the aggro from them, then
2 gold per hit. They hit you, you get 2 gold. How's that?
I can't help but like think back to like, League of Legends and like, I was a mid player only actually in League and dropping my Tibbers and watching it die for like 50 gold. I mean, I think that it's okay if they if they made it worth gold. Like even arachnids, like the spiders themselves should even be worth gold, not the eggs, because I agree those eggs are like hit you for 2 damage, you die.
Yeah.
But the spiders at least, and any kind of a summonable, whether it's the boar or Bastet's cats, I think should definitely be worth at least some gold and maybe even some EXP. But what the right balance is for that, you'll have to be careful, because definitely you don't want Bastet players feeling like they're being punished for using their ultimate, or the same thing with Arachne, like, oh, I planted these spiders to push the creep wave, but now all of a sudden you have like a EXP advantage. So actually, scratch the EXP thing. That's terrible. It's a terrible idea. I forget I even said that. But the gold thing, I think, is a good idea. The gold thing's a good idea.
Okay. That's only if you kill them and they don't just pop because they're time. Even if you lay down damage, you can't get any credit unless you actually land a killing blow. Would that be a good idea? Like if you're
getting extra for getting the killing blow.
Yeah, like you don't like currently you get extra gold if you hit creeps versus last hitting them, versus not hitting them at all. With the spiders and stuff like that, you don't get any gold obviously if you're just in the area when they die.
Right.
You have to actually hit them and do the last hit on those.
Yeah, I don't think it could give like gold as the creeps do, because it's just in a range. You get gold for just by being in range. If you like kill the cats and you get gold for not touching them, that would be kind of weird.
Yeah, that would be.
It would be too. Yeah, that would punish her too much for using her ulti.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Glad we got that out of the way. I awkwardly introduced and then made that happen. Any other questions, sir? Nope, that's it.
All right, great.
So, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up now. We are coming towards the end of the show because it is almost 10:30.
And do you guys think we're going to be getting Ares next week or the week after that?
Next week. Should be next week. That's the plan. We do have some images.
I want to see the skins that they're releasing. Do they have like Halloween skins planned? Does that like make me like a total nerd? Like I'm more excited about the skins that they're going to be releasing than Ares. Like,
man,
I'm like nervous about Ares, guys. The last 6 gods that have come out have been 5 of them have been AD, and he looks like he's going to be another AD. Like, when do we get some new casters, dude?
Dude, they said they were going to release about 6 ADs, 7 ADs in a row to even out that field, and then they're going to go with the casters because I don't know. I guess they go on benders of different kinds.
Honey Badger Sobek.
Like 80, okay. Mana.
Yes, and for anybody that doesn't know in the chat, because I saw some before, AD is attack damage, physical hitting people, whereas magic is magic.
Before Honey Badger Sobek.
All right. The skin I'm looking forward to.
That would be epic.
All right, there's Surfer Hebo.
Yes, Hebro.
He's got like the shark thing out of his surfboard. It's awesome. And Pirate Sobek. I want the bird on his shoulder to fly around and give me vision.
Okay.
But only if Odin is in my party.
Right.
That would be epic.
Yes. One thing I want to see with Hebro, when he casts his like little water path, he's got to jump on his surfboard and surf down it.
Yes.
That is something that must happen.
Yes.
Or like he must jump on his surfboard when that happens so he can either go down it or surf somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, off into the distance somewhere and then just magically appear over there.
Right.
Or go into it and it becomes a giant wave and then he pops back out.
Land sharks.
I
just want land sharks. Because they go gashunk when they knock down your door.
Gashunk. You should bring this on the stream.
I need
it's
a link.
Chat.
On whose chat?
Our chat. What do you mean whose chat?
I mean this chat?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. So we have an amusing picture for you. We're going to bring it up on stream. Just for...
Well, that thing needs to go away. There we go.
There we go. So thank you for the...
Yep, thank you for this lovely picture.
Lovely picture.
Because Honey Sobek doesn't care.
We're just going to leave it there for now.
Honey Sobek don't care.
Honey Sobek don't care.
So, thank you guys so much for joining us. Let's get over our guys some last shout-outs. Spooh, since you're our guest, you go first. Where can we find you? What do we need to know about you? And, do you stream? Do you have Twitter? Anything like that? Do you have any shout-outs you would like to give to, like, maybe teammates? Special shows that bring you on? I don't know.
Yeah, well, you can find me on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Spooh1. Yes, it's kind of lame, but Spooh was taken, whatever. And I would like to shout out to my team because they're awesome, and I love playing with them, and I would like to shout out to BLG because you guys are doing a fantastic job by putting that community together, and to Lionheart for doing some awesome casting.
Yeah, yeah. Great
You're here.
casting.
Thank you.
Yes,
man.
yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Oh yeah,
Golf
man.
clap.
Appreciate that.
Golf clap. Very nice. Very nice. Well, thank you very much, Spooh. Thank you very much.
So, Lionheart, where can we hear, see, and watch your epic streams that we just heard Spooh telling us are amazing and awesome, and we should watch them? Where can we find them?
Your mic is going to make all
So
sorts
you guys
of
can
noise.
find me on Twitch also. The
not at
URL is
Lionheart.
absolutely obnoxious. Obnoxious. I'll type it in the chat so you can see it, but it's twitch.tv/L10NH3ART. Somebody took my name too, and that's the way I went. And I completely regret it to this day. I should have chose something simple, dude, like some stream guy, like nothing with numbers. But for some reason, I put numbers pretty much everywhere in the name that I possibly could, because I have no brain and I'm an idiot.
No, it's the
But
problem is he's a
anyways.
90s child.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
So that's where you guys can find me if you want to watch the stream live. If you happen to miss the stream, or you're hanging out watching Spooh do some complete ownage from his point of view, and maybe you want to check the game later on, you can find it also on YouTube. It's YouTube /Vision Blue. That's spelled with. I'll type that also. That's spelled that hard too, because I still have the brain for these things. So it's Vision Blue. It's VIZIONBLU. There's no E at the end. For some reason, I think that everything has to be complicated if you want to find me. It's like the opposite of what I should be doing.
Yeah.
So those are the two places you guys can find me and the games that I'll be shoutcasting.
So we had a request from hi-rez Chris that you change your Twitch to Lionheart1337.
Yes, Lionheart Elite.
Lionheart 8.
Lionheart the one. I like
I
that,
actually
Spooh.
have the Twitch account that's Lionheart that only has a 1 as the I, and everything else is normal. But I'm an idiot and couldn't remember my password until I had like 700 followers, and at that point I was like, dude, I'm not rebuilding. Forget about this. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Aw. Yeah. Yeah,
GG, dude.
yeah.
maybe one day I'll make friends with Ernie and he'll switch it for me somehow.
Yeah.
Robot Wizard has the best one for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Lionheart, MLG, Sniper, Elite, Blaze It, 420, XXX.
Sounds like good Smurf.
So, sounds pretty good.
Sounds like an Xbox name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So, Alakite, where can we find you at? What are you doing
I
these
hate
days?
shout-outs.
I know, that's why we save you.
That's why
for
we love to
last.
do give you shout-outs.
Twitch TV Alakite on the site, on here. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much if you want to... I need to add Spooh stream to our list, but if you want to
Yeah,
find
we do.
Lionheart, you can just come to blgaming.com. If he's streaming, it's on our front page.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's under
if
our
you want to
stream
find
list.
Lionheart stream, blgaming.com. If he's online, he'll be on the left under, Lionheart.
Streams.
It'll say
Yes.
Lionheart.
So... All right, well,
nice and easy.
you go first, and I'll go last, and we'll cut it out.
All right, thank you so much, guys, for watching us. You can find us at blgaming.com, and mostly him, somewhat me. We do daily updates. We do Smite news. We do all sorts of other neat things, and we have all sorts of other fun things in the works. Searches. We have guides, awesome guides. Go check out our guides because they're done by great players, like Lassis and Alakite, and I think Lionheart has one on there.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he has one on there. Spooh,
At
do you
least
have
one.
a pro
Do you have a
guide
guide?
on our site?
No, I do not.
No, you should go make one. You can get a nice pro guide moniker right on it, so people know that you are awesome, and that they should do what you say.
Exactly.
That's what that means.
Exactly.
Yeah. So check us out, blgaming.com. We are here Thursday nights at 9, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Usually, sometimes.
I would like to say shout-outs for all the viewers who are here. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this lovely time. I enjoy having you, and, I mean, there's no other reason to do it besides the viewers, because, I mean, I love looking at myself on a computer screen and, making a recording just for myself. That would be awesome.
So true.
But, of course, you guys rock. You guys rock. Thank you, guests, for being here. Lionheart, Spooh, Alakite, this guy over here, a little bit. I mean, he trolls me all day long, but... I suppose I can thank him somewhat for being here, too.
Yes.
So, again, thank you guys so much. And lastly, BL Gaming. You can follow me on Twitter at Demon Machine. I can even post that down there because it's spelled a little oddly. It's DEA, not quite as odd as Lionheart.
Yeah.
It's just a little
however
awkward.
Lionheart spells it. So,
Yep.
and also thank you, hi-rez Chris and hi-rez Bart, for
Yeah.
chatting with our people
Oh,
in
and
chat.
Kabir. Don't forget Kabir.
And Kabir.
Kabir.
I think that's how you say that. He does like technical stuff. That's all I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. And sorry for banning you, guitarist. Wrong button.
Apparently, bannings were going out all evening at the beginning of the show accidentally because Rebel doesn't know how to work Twitch.
No. I don't know how to work a mouse.
Oh, you don't know how to work a mouse. I see.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you meant to promote them to something, and then you just banned them instead.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Nice.
That's the way to do it.
Yep, that's how it goes.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. We will leave you with this lovely video.
Yes.
From
the video that hi-rez put up this morning. It is really awesome, and you will thoroughly enjoy watching it.
Might need to rewind it, but hey.
And we need to rewind it.
Nope. No, we don't. I'll just do this.
No, we'll just Ooh,
yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah,
I
you like that.
Mm.
So we'll play that and do that. Dun dun. Dun dun.
And here you go.
Is it playing?
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. There it is.
Ha!
Okay.
Awesome. They should have used this video to showcase like a new skin or something. Yeah, I saw that video with like the data mined ones or whatever. They looked awesome.
We're not allowed to.
Oh. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I hope they have some good Halloween ones lined up, but whatever they decide to release. I know Chris was telling me that like the one that's coming out with the next whatever is gonna be amazing, is what he said. He told me that like, there's been a lot of work done to it with data mine too. What? Yo, I got a question for you guys. If you guys wore green shirts, would you just look like Photoshop? That is awesome, dude. I need to see that sometime. Next time you guys decide to do that. That's so cool. Wow.
By the way, how do you do this while like you mute everything on Skype, but you keep playing music in the stream? Ah, okay. Yeah.
That's awesome though. That you guys have like a full-on setup like that. That's really cool. Like not like a lot of people can't really do anything like that. The fact that you have that all set up is like, I think it's really neat. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that like in person. And so when I saw you guys like sign into like you know, Skype before you got on the stream, I saw like the crazy green curtain in the back and everything. It got me like pumped up about it, man.